Hi, I'm Julie Enzer. I'm your professor for our Introduction to Gender Studies at the University of Mississippi. I'd like to welcome you all to the class. This is just going to be a short welcome video with three purposes. One, I want to give you an opportunity to see me because we'll be talking a lot throughout the semester, and I'll talk a little bit about myself. Second, I'm going to go over the syllabus quickly, show you copies of the books that we're going to be reading, and talk a little bit about how we're going to make our way through the class. And then finally, I'm going to talk briefly about the assignments and how you'll be graded for this course. So first, about me. I live in Tampa, Florida, just outside of Tampa, actually, in a little town called Dover. This is my office. I'm sitting here next to my dog, who we hope will not make an appearance during this video. I have my PhD in Women's Studies from the University of Maryland. I also have an MFA in creative writing, and I'm a poet. My most recent book is called Avowed, and it just came out last fall. You can see more about me on my webpage, which I'm sure many of you might have Googled me already to find out what I'm on about. Lots of information is on my webpage, julierrenzer.com, including my scholarly work and links to some of the articles that I have written. I'm in the process of writing a book right now that's a history of feminist publishing, and I'm hoping to wrap that up this spring and get that off to publishers. So that's a little bit about me. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about our class, Introduction to Gender Studies, which I'm super excited about. We're doing two separate online courses that overlap with the same information. We may be doing some joint activities with the other courses. I haven't quite made up my mind about that. I'm going to take you on a brief trip through our syllabus. Right now we're in the introductory week. You have some basic introductory activities, which I know everybody is engaging in. And I keep this week an opportunity for us to connect online and start to get our bearings in how we do this work. And we really dive into reading and content next week. The first book we are going to read is Bell Hooks, Feminism is for Everybody. If you've already scoped out this book, you've noticed that this is a thin book. I said in one of the introductions that I try to keep to about 100 pages a week. You'll see as we go through the syllabus that isn't quite true, but I recognize that it is a heavy reading course, but also that we have limitations in time, and I'm going to talk about how you read and how you approach college classes as well as a part of our work together. So for next week, we read Feminism is for Everybody by Bell Hooks, and you do your very first reading journal that I'll talk about a little bit in the assignments portion of the course. For the week of February 6th, we're doing a unit on really intersectional feminism, looking at how race, class, and gender come together, and we have reading materials that are not as books that are all linked on our Blackboard site. The week of February 13th, we're going to watch a film, Water, by Deepa Mehta. There's instructions in the syllabus about how to find that film and get it online. Many of you will probably watch it through Netflix or Amazon or iTunes. So you might want to scope that out and figure out how you're going to get that film to watch it before February 13th. Then we go into a section that I'm calling Natural Sciences. We're reading work by two scholars who are feminist scholars within the natural sciences. One is Evolution's Rainbow by Joan Roughgarden. This is one of the thick books right here. We're going to divide this book into two parts, so it's about 200 pages for each of the weeks. This is a fascinating book. Some of you will love it, some of you will hate it, and we'll talk about all of those different reactions to it. So after 2 weeks of working with Joan Roughgarden, we're going to read two chapters by a fabulous scholar, Anne Fausto Sterling, who's a biologist, and thinking about sex and gender from the frame of biology. Those will be posted up on Blackboard, and I'll make them available as soon as I get them posted. They haven't gone up yet. Then we have spring break. It comes quickly. And then we roll right into a section on social sciences. We read this fantastic book by Linda Hirschman called Get to Work. You'll see this is a skinny book, less than 100 pages in the whole thing, but incredibly provocative. And my hunch is you will have lots of reactions and things to say about that book. Then we're going to look at Barbara Ehrenreich and Arlie Hochschild's book, Global Woman. Now, given that this is right in the middle of the semester, right after you get back from break, one of my thoughts is that each student will read 2 chapters of this book and that will report on the chapters to one another. So I'll include that in the instructions, but just so you know, that'll be a book where you'll probably read 2 chapters, write a little summary of them, and everyone can read the different chapters that they're interested in. Then, and I couldn't find my copy of this book, but I printed out the cover. We're going to read Patricia Williams' The Alchemy of Race and Rights. If any of you in the class have in your mind that you might want to go to law school, this is an incredible book. The subtitle is Diary of a Law Professor. I know lots of people who've read this before going to law school and found it incredibly inspirational and powerful in shaping what their work was. Then, the week of April 10th, we're going to look at Our Bodies, Ourselves, which I didn't pull from my shelf, but there's a variety of editions of this book, including a new edition, Trans Bodies, Trans Selves, that I have, which I'm going to grab. My copy of this new book just came in the mail. Here it is, Trans Bodies, Trans Selves. A thick one, like Our Bodies, Ourselves, also thick. So we're going to have great discussions about bodies, about how we understand and interpret bodies, and talk about healthcare as well. So that wraps up our social sciences section. And then we go into a humanities section, which includes 2 books, a novel called We Need New Names by No Violet Bulawayo. I have the book somewhere, but there's what the cover looks like. And finally, we'll be looking at another book that I just edited, The Complete Works of Pat Parker. This is a thick book. It is also poetry, and we'll talk about how to divide it up and make it meaningful and useful to you in your work when we come to that point. Now, I will actually be on the Ole Miss campus the week of April 24th, so if you want to meet me live and in person, I will be on campus that week, and we'll have some time to do some drop-in meetings while I'm on campus. Then we wrap up the semester with the presentation of the group projects. So that's our itinerary where we're going for the semester. As a student, you get evaluated by me in 4 ways for this class. First of all, your reading journal is 25% of your course grade. That journal's all set up on Blackboard, including the rubric that I'll use to evaluate it. I'll give you, after your first entry next week on the Bell Hooks book, I'll give you your first set of quick feedback to let you know either keep on going, you're going in the right direction, or do a little bit more of this. You can update, revise, change the reading journal across the whole entire semester. I'll come in and visit your reading journal a few times. We'll have some conversations. I'll give you some feedback. And then I do the final evaluation of that journal at the end of class. My expectation is that you keep up with the reading journal, that you do it every week, and that you complete an entry by 5 p.m. on Tuesday so that you're ready for our discussions. But I'm human, and I know you are too, and you might get behind. I recommend you skip a week if you're busy and behind, and jump into the next week and get everything all caught up before the end of the semester. I'll let you know when that journal is going to be due and when I'll be evaluating it. The second form of evaluation in this class is your class discussions on Think and Analyze. You're required every week to post 2, 3, 4 paragraphs thinking about the material that we're dealing with this week and responding to 2 classmates. This is really the meat of our course. This is our class discussions. These Think and Analyze posts, and then the other ones are the Apply and Act posts. And you'll see that's my little cat Vita right there. So the Think and Analyze posts collectively are 25% of your grade, and the Friday Apply Act are 25% of your grades. The Think Analyze is how we deal with the material that we're reading, how we talk together about it, how we develop stronger understandings of what the work is in this course. The Apply Act is how we take the ideas and concepts from our course and apply them to the world that we're living in. So collectively, those weekly discussions are 50% of your grade. Then the final 25% of your grade is this group project that's called How Gender Works. There's a full description of it in the syllabus, so I suggest that you look at that. My thinking is that by the end of February, early March, you all will know one another enough and think about who you want to be in groups with and how you want to construct your How Gender Works project. So that will be worth 25% of your grade. There will be 1 grade to the overall group as a part of the group project, and everyone gets that as their same 25%. So that's our class. A little bit about me, a trip through our syllabus, and how you will be evaluated in the class. I'm happy to answer questions, engage in some more discussion, and I'm really looking forward to meeting and knowing each of you through the course of this semester and our work together. Thank you very much.